We are pleased to have with us today Collin Kartchner. Collin created a popular parody Instagram account to make fun of social media and then used that platform to help spread good. He travels the country speaking to youth, parents, colleges, and educators on how to rise above the negative effects of social media and screen time addiction, and has helped thousands of teens and parents get off their phones and connect in real life. He used his social media platform to raise money for hurricane victims, children fighting cancer, and orphanages in South America. He created National Delete Snapchat Day, and this year started a campaign called #SaveTheKids, which earned him a spot on the TED stage in September. Collin is bringing awareness to the negative effects of social media and is showing the world how to use it instead as a force for good. At the conclusion of the program, we will sing Love One Another, as always, and the benediction will then be offered by Indy Washburn, freshman class vice president from West Haven, Utah. Collin. Check.
All right. Thank you for having me out here. Like you said, my name is Collin Kartchner, and I don't know if I'm even saying that right either. And I will be in that cry room as well in about 5 minutes. So thank you so much for coming out here. I'm just going to get started because it's time to get going. I don't have a whole lot of time. I live in Pleasant Grove, Utah, which is the Southern Virginia of the West, is what I've heard so far. And I'm really, really excited to be out here to share with you my crusade that I somehow got on a few months ago, and it's not slowing down. So this is me on Instagram. Last year I created a parody Instagram account just to make fun of Instagram because Instagram's ridiculous. And I did that by becoming the world's most obsessed mommy blogger ever. This is after I got my eyebrows bladed, as we do in the blogger world, a very natural look. And you know, a typical day for us as influencers on social media, laughing hysterically at a bowl of kale salad for no reason. And I got to a level 23 status, which is really important to me. I don't know if anyone knows what level 23 power influencer ranking means on Instagram. It means nothing. I created a false hierarchy of success on Instagram that people started buying into. They'd message me, how do I get to level 5? How do I get to level 10? I'm like, we got to get the check mark and hate mail and sponsors. And they're like, I'm going to do that because that's what life is about. And I'm like, it's all fake. None of this is real. The funny part, though, is that sometimes companies would actually reach out to me, not doing any research, to say, could you sponsor our products? And I'm like, if you're not going to take a second to see that this is all fake, I would gladly sponsor your products for you. And instead of doing it the way most influencers would, I do it like this, usually.
All you do is remove the top, spit it out, and then you just pour it in your mouth, and it's really good. Don't forget to use my promo code. Link expires in 48 seconds.
I put that video on Instagram, and I kid you not, I swear, within 5 minutes, 4 other protein supplement companies in this country messaged me and said, can we pay you to advertise our products too? I'm not even joking. So I said, yes, send me the money. I'm just donating it to orphans in South America. So it was really fun. So this is my wife and our 4 kids. That we surrogated in the Philippines. Very expensive. And part of the reason why I do what I do is because of my beautiful wife here. We were voted the whitest couple in Utah County last year. Thank you very much. Thank you. Wow. Typical day for us, dressing up like that just to go to Walmart to go shop, as you do. And then our favorite activity, Goga. I don't know if they have Goga here, goat yoga. Do they do that here? They do? Business opportunity. You go do yoga and they bring baby goats and they climb on you. It's extremely painful. But it's totally worth the Instagram likes. We are dying for this photo here. But this is my wife, Liz. I met her when she was 15. I took her on her first date, and she never talked to me all the rest through high school. But after I got from mission, she was still available. I'm like, boom, close the deal. And part of the reason why I got on this whole quest is because of her. She was, for about 5 years, one of these Instagram influencers who made a career doing this. Posting stuff, sharing stuff. She had a huge following. And And it was awesome. Everything was free for like 5 years. Every trip, every day, there was like boxes of free stuff that she'd somehow open and film with one hand awkwardly to like show everyone. And if you look at her from the outside perspective, social media like standards, she's perfect, right? Beautiful, smart, skinny. She had 4 kids. She has abs. I have no idea how. And about 7 months ago, I noticed something was changing. I just noticed her personality was changing. She wasn't as happy as she used to be. And I was like, what's going on? Like, I know I've gained weight. It can't be that. And then one day she tells me, she goes, I need to tell you something. She said, I just want you to know, I was up all night on my computer Googling, what's wrong with me? What is depression? Why do I feel like this? And we realized that even her, someone who everyone wanted to be on social media, even her, Satan lied to her through social media and told even her, you're not going to be good enough. And if it can do that to someone like her, like what hope is there for the rest of us, right? So this is my day job. I hold cameras like Dallin back there. His is nice too. I don't own this one. Oh, no way. I go and film stuff. But my really cool night job now is I go all over the country speaking. This is like the 14th time I've spoken, like 4 days. My Sunday night firesides are booked out till next August. Just talking about social media affecting kids. And this movement I started called Save the Kids. Now, if you're over the age of 1 and about 27, you're a kid to me. So everyone here is a kid. We're saving all of us. But when I go talk to parents, I wear a shirt that says #SaveTheParents. Because then all the kids go, yeah. Why are you talking to us? Why don't you go talk to my mom when you're done? Or my grandma, too. Because she's like, why are you always on your phone? I swear. Right? And you're like, oh, okay. I'll take cognitive dissonance for $600, Alex. Oh, ask your teacher. We're literally handing keys to the car to children at 12 with no driver's ed, no training whatsoever. They are doing that with that car every single day. And then we get mad at them. Why? Why are we getting mad at them? This is our fault. But my work is all centered around connection. I think that the number one thing that we're losing because of social media, because of screens, is this beautiful thing called real connection. This is the cover of Time magazine not very long ago. Everyone's freaking out, trying to figure out what's going on with our youth. Why is this rise in anxiety and depression? Why is it skyrocketing? I just spoke to the American Academy of Pediatricians, a bunch of scary doctors who were like, why are we prescribing more antidepressants and anti-anxiety meds than ever before? I'm like, you tell me. You have lab coats on. Like, I got a degree in PE. I have no credentials. But where I live in Utah, and this is happening everywhere, just in the last 7 years, the suicide rate in youth now, 10 to 17 and 17 to 35, is the number one cause of death. This lower graph is the youth suicide rate in our country slowly rising, and that blue line is where I live, is Utah. And everyone's trying to figure out what in the world happened right here when everything went off the rails. Do you know what came out in 2010? Instagram. Do you know what came out in 2011? Snapchat. I'm not saying it's their fault, but it is. But we as adults, too, like things are changing, right? This was when Tiger Woods teed off in 2002 Masters. This is when he teed off last week. Do you guys see any difference in what's going on here? Literally, there's one guy with his son not filming that. One guy. And it's because he forgot his phone's in his hand. But we have become a society where no one really wants to experience anything anymore. We just want to show everyone how cool we are that we were there. Now, if you were born after 1995 and you're wondering, am I a millennial? You're not. You're an iGen. Okay? iGens are born after 95. And no one can figure you out. Everyone's like, why are they so entitled? They're not entitled. You're just lazy because we've given you tech where you can swipe for a date and a pizza like that fast, right? I don't know if that happens here, though. Can they bring it that fast here? Maybe? Pizza in the cry room. This lady, Jean Twenge, who researched about 1 million people your age, she found over a year that the amount of time you spend on your phone and on social media affects your mental health. The kids and the teens and you guys who spent an hour a day in her research were just fine. Those who spent 3 to 5 hour average, 30% increase in suicide ideation, which is anxiety and depression included. The people who spent 5 or more hours a day on average, that jumped 71%. Now, what is the average day an iGen person spends on their phone? Any guesses? 20 hours. Exactly. Nationwide, the average is 9.5 hours a day. And that's from kids starting at age 10 that have smartphones. Oh, I saw a kid at the airport yesterday who was 6 who had an iPhone. She's like, swipe. I'm like, what are we doing? So now we're not guessing anymore. We know. We know for a fact. We know now that the amount of time that we're spending on social media disconnected from each other, disconnected from ourselves, is a big correlating cause to why we feel so crappy. Okay? I can't even keep up with the research coming out every single day, sounding alarms that no one's screaming. That the amount of time, especially young people, are on our phones, on social media, is directly tied to this rise in anxiety and depression. Okay, I did this math, and I literally had to double-check it twice. Do you know if you spend 2 hours a day on your, just say on Instagram or Snapchat, whatever, just 2 hours a day, that's it, no more. 2 hours a day for a year. That's it. You just spent 1.5 months of every waking second that year on that app. Now, if you look at your battery settings, it shows you how much we're on our phones and on apps. It's a lot more than that for a lot of us. So here's where I share all of my research. I know it's odd, the irony. You're talking about social media, like on it. I get it. But I only follow one person, so it's no big deal. Anyone guess who I follow? Any guesses? My wife, yeah. No, Jerry of the Day. Just kidding, not my wife. I want you, don't follow me, but I want you to sometime just go through to my account and watch some of those highlight stories. My research comes from talking to thousands of teenagers. They have used me as their voice to share with the world what they're going through. And I share it with everyone. I block out their name, of course. And it's mind-blowing. And I have student athletes on there. And I have college kids. And I have high school kids. And I have experts on there all chiming in. It's become this amazing center of information that no one's talking about. This could happen. A mom sent me this video. She lives in West Virginia after she watched these stories. Take a look.
I hereby denounce the effects that social media have on my children, their disobedience and their disrespect. Charlotte.
Don't shoot, Charlotte. Oh, my gosh. On the stump are her kids' iPhones, and there they went. And the best part is, if you notice on her sleeve, she has 4 more bullets, just in case she missed with a shotgun from 9 feet. Miss, Carl, do it again. I hereby declare. And the chain wallet, of course. Protecting all of her wallet full of receipts. Okay. So I have 3 goals, just 3 quick goals. Number 1, bring back all the self-love you might accidentally be handing a stupid machine in your pocket. Very easy. Number 2, stop Satan from trying to steal your joy through your phone. And lastly, get off... follow the prophet, get off screens, get off social media, and be free. That is my goal. Girls, grow out your armpit hair, live in a yurt, go barefoot, change your name to Wolf, wear a sarapa. I don't care. But just get off your screens a little bit. Now, just a quick story because I think it's cool to say and share this. I believe we can save social media. I think if we don't save it, it's going to destroy our entire country. It's ruining our president. It's ruining most adults. We have to fix this. And guess what? The adults are not going to fix it. It's going to be your generation who fixes this. The founders of Instagram last week just up and left last week because they're feeling the heat, too, of what they've done is destroying this country, right? So let's figure out how to use it for good first. I want to show you a quick story. So when this hurricane hit Texas, and I had this big following and this funny account going. People started messaging me, and they're like, are you seeing this? I'm like, this is crazy. I can't believe this hurricane. Anyone here from Texas? Houston area? Awesome. You know what I'm talking about. As this was happening, people were messaging me, dozens and dozens of influencers on social media. I know you can't read it. They were literally using the catastrophe to sell people products. They had a hashtag going, hashtag Harvey Party. A party for a hurricane that's destroying a city. There was a video of a lady who had 250,000 followers on Instagram who literally said something like, oh my hecking heck, Utah. Oh my hecking heck, you guys. I'm so sad that Houston's soaking wet. But thankfully, my feet are dry. And my $200 Hunter rain boots. Swipe up, like it to know it. I'm like, what? People are dying. So I got mad and I said, I want to help people using my social media. And I just created this fake account or this whole fake product store merchandise called Nooch. It's short for nutrients. That's not how you spell it. And it's just short for diet soda. Because in Utah, I don't know if they do it here, but we're so healthy. We eat organic and we go to the gym for 9 hours every single day. And then where do we go right after? Drive-through soda stands and get 9 gallons of aspartame-fueled Diet Coke. And aspartame is in rat poison and it's linked to MS. It's not healthy, right? So I said, I have these 2 items that were $10. I'm going to auction them off. Whatever they go for, I'm going to give that to someone in Texas who lost everything. And I was praying maybe some rich kid would be like, here's $500. And it did a little better than $500. That's what it went for. It's awesome. Yeah. Yay, hats. So my wife and I, she looks at me and she goes, we need to take this money to Texas. And I go, you got it. So we took a plane down to Texas that weekend. We literally got in our car and we pulled over the side of the road and we said a prayer. And we said, Heavenly Father, we have fat stacks in our pockets. We need to find people to give this to. Inigo Montoya, Princess Bride, guide my sword and my money to people. I want to just show you 2 of about a dozen in one day we found. This is Sister Clayton. They have 6 kids. She said 2 months before the hurricane hit, we canceled our flood insurance. I know. We'd been in this house 15 years. It had never rained more than 6 inches. We didn't need to pay for it, and now we lost everything. Cars, too. And she said, when the water was rising at 2 a.m., my husband grabbed all the 6 kids, put them on a fan boat that was coming to rescue us, and then he kissed us goodbye and said, I hope I see you again. I'm going to go save our neighbors. And I want you to see her reaction to handing her a check for a bunch of money, all using this dumb social media idea. Just help you guys out a little bit right now. I put that video on Instagram, and 5 minutes later, the people who own that really big furniture company in Utah messaged me, and they said, oh my gosh, could you give us her phone number? Wherever they go, we want to restock their whole home, everything they lost. One more. This is Suzanne. She's a member of our faith. You see her cool pixie haircut? She just beat cancer, so it was just growing back. She said, right before I found out, when I found out I was diagnosed, let me say that again. When I was diagnosed with cancer, my husband left. Because that's what Dr. Laura says in How to Be a Good Husband, right? That book. And she said this. She said, when I was laying in bed, the water rised up to about where I was sleeping, right to the blanket. And I looked at it, and I was like, maybe I should go. Like, maybe, yeah. Take the jet skis. She said, I grabbed a pillow and a blanket and my favorite book, and I got on the fan boat, and I left. Because at 2 a.m. in a flood, when you're being rescued, like, you have to read something, right? Could you turn that down, please? And I said, Suzanne, did you lose anything? And she goes, I lost everything I own, but those 3 things. And I want you to see her reaction to handing her some money, all using this dumb social media idea.
Oh, my gosh.
Put that on Instagram. The sisters who own Orson Gigi in Salt Lake, 5 minutes later, can you give us her phone number? We're going to restock her whole home. Everything she lost. She got a $5,000 Serta mattress sent to her that weekend. I'm like, I sleep on a futon. Can we BOGO this? Like, please. Hi, remember? Anyways. Now, lastly, let me tell you about Jack, my favorite story ever. So we went back the next weekend because we kept raising money. People kept donating to me without asking because they're like, I'll Venmo this guy $5. And then I watch him give it to people and they cry. And it makes me feel good, so I give more. Some people were like, I've donated 9 times to this. I have $1.10 in my Venmo. Take all of it, please. Just like film their reactions. So we went back down the next weekend, went to Rockport to the coast. We met Jack, one of maybe 10 or 12 people we found. Jack's a member of our faith, and he's a single guy, Korean War vet. When I met Jack, this is what he said. He goes, well, the hurricane hit on my birthday, and so I was going to go to the Sizzler to celebrate. Like a 200-mile-an-hour wind, Jack? Like, how bad do you need that mac and cheese, dude? Buffet, right? And I go, Jack, did you lose anything? And he goes, I lost everything. My roof collapsed. It would have crushed me. I lost everything I own, everything. Then he said this, but you know what I miss the most? I had 100 puzzles. And they were all framed on the walls and on every table. I spent 30 years on these puzzles, and they're all gone. I lost the dog too, but the puzzles... So I take his photo and I film that and I go, guys, this is Jack. Jack lost his puzzles. If you would like to make Jack's day, here's where Jack will be staying. Send him a puzzle and cheer him up. And 4 days later, Jack sent me this photo. I called him up. I'm like, Jack, what happened? He's like, you're never going to believe this. These really calm people in the Amazon rainforest sent me all these puzzles. Brazil? Oh, no, Amazon. That's in Seattle. Whatever. No big deal. 136 puzzles just showed up on his door, all from strangers who felt his hopelessness and stepped in to help him out. And he said, I sit on a throne of puzzles. I'm like, yeah, you do. And all these other people, just with this dumb idea, using social media. I think we can save it if we use it for good. Like my grandma said here, it's never too late. I told this story last night, but true story. My 93-year-old grandma in Albuquerque, New Mexico, posted this on Facebook about 2 months ago. Bank of America account 9843261 search. Oh my gosh. Grandma, you got to delete that. You can't search your bank account number in a Facebook status update. It doesn't. What? Do I send for it to go like a stamp? No. Get off Facebook. So let me introduce you to the coolest 12-year-old all over town. This is my daughter, Avery. She just started 7th grade. And 7 months ago, before I got on this crusade, before I started talking to youth all day, every day, I get about 200 to 700 messages on Instagram every day from kids saying how social media is ruining my life. If you'd have asked me then, 8 months ago, when you're going to get your smartphone and Instagram, 8 months ago, I would have said this year. I would have said 7th grade. Now things have changed. When is she going to get Instagram? Well, did you guys know? Instagram was rated the #1 worst app for youth mental health. #1 worst. This just came out in June. 63% of everyone on Instagram said this app makes me completely miserable. And most of the girls here know what I'm talking about, right? When you got Instagram, you wake up in the morning, like, you look outside and you see the bears. Can I announce that? I can't announce that. There's some bears on the lawn over there. You wake up and you're like, I love my life. I'm skinny and pretty. Let's check Instagram now. I hate my life. I'm ugly and fat, right? That's all Instagram's good for anymore. And this was an image I shared a couple months ago. And this is my huge beef with this tech we've created. Is that we've created a world now where for young people growing up, even if you feel like the lady on the left, you can't tell anyone. Now, I know you're in college and it's still hard. Instagram's still a big nightmare for a lot of us. Imagine being 12. Or 13, where life really struggles and you're trying to figure out who you are. And then there's Instagram too, right? And this is one of the things that I need you guys to fix this by being more real and more authentic, right? I live in the capital of plastic surgeons. Where I live in Utah County, Salt Lake County, we have more plastic surgeons per capita than LA right now. Do you know that? Every third billboard on I-15 where I live. Do you have wrinkles from smiling at your children? Gross. Paralyze that with Botox, right? Are you not happy? Are your kidneys a fat harbor? Cool, sculpt them, right? Your kidneys? Yes. Now, this is Snapchat, which a lot of our kids are on. I don't know if you guys know this, but 83% of kids in America, 11 to 20, use Snapchat for their number one way to communicate. 4 months ago, they came out with a new update they didn't tell anyone about called Cosmo After Dark, which is free porn for everyone. This was literally an 11-year-old boy sent me this story he got last week. Ready? I'm not making this up. Porn isn't all that bad. Porn fosters wholesome communities. Habitual porn watchers are typically more socially aware and more likely to view men and women as equals. What? It's like the biggest lie ever told. And for the parents who do not want to talk to the kids about pornography, you don't have to anymore because now Scary McScareface, this guy on Snapchat, is the new instructor of all things pornography. And kids, you can learn everything in a non-shamed way. An 11-year-old boy sent this to me. He's like, what's pornography? I'm like, get off your phone. And people say, Collin, I know Snapchat's got garbage on it, but if you can avoid the garbage, it's just fun filters, right? They got the dog tongue, the crown. Now, where I live, like I said, with all the plastic surgeons everywhere, I have spies who work in every office, and they tell me, hey, Collin, do you know, every week we have girls 18, 19, and 20 walk into our office holding a photo of their face with a filter on it, asking the doctor, can you make me look like this with your knives? There's a term for it now called Snapchat dysmorphia, which means we have been filtering our face so frequently that most people hate how we look in real life. We don't even want to notice. Don't show me. Make me look like Pixar princess. Now, back in May when I started this whole movement, I had a parent night in my city, and I invited the head of Internet Crimes Against Children to come speak. And this is our Attorney General, and that's Mike Smith, Chief of Police, and head of ICAC. And all the parents sitting there, one mom raised her hand at the Q&A and says, what do I need to know about Snapchat for my kids? They all use it. And the head of the Internet Crimes Against Children stood up, and he gave a very, very lengthy response. It was this: Snapchat's the devil. And then he sat down. And all the parents like, but really? Yeah, really. So this, my friends, is when you're on Snapchat, and this is when you delete Snapchat. So now my answer has changed in 8 months. Just 8 short months. When am I going to give my daughter, literally no matter how hard I try and teach her to not care what people think and to be thick-skinned, it doesn't work. When am I going to hand her technology and apps that I know will destroy her life? Never. And there's a lot more people you're going to see waiting and delaying how long they wait to give their kids access to this stuff. Now, one final story, because this is why I do what I do. This is my friend Whitney. And before we had kids, my wife worked with her mom. And we didn't have kids, so Whitney was like our buddy. We'd take her to get ice cream. We'd take her to the mall. We loved Whitney. And January 19th of this year, after not seeing this family for 10 years, I walk into a Maverick gas station in Pleasant Grove, and I bump into her mom. And I go, oh, my gosh, what's new? How's life? How's Whitney? And she got really sad, and her eyes sunk. And she said, I thought you heard. She died last year at 22. And I said, what? What was it? Was she sick, or was it a car crash? And she said, no. And this is the story she said. She said, a few years ago, I made the biggest mistake of my life, and I handed my child a loaded gun. I didn't teach her how to use it, and it killed her. And I know we live in Utah where everyone loves guns. And I said, why would you give her a gun? And she goes, no. I gave her a loaded gun. I didn't show her how to use it, and it killed her. And I said, tell me what you mean. She said, the minute I handed my child at 14, 15 a smartphone, everything changed. My happy-go-lucky daughter suddenly was just not herself. I thought it was just teenage angst. I thought it was just, all the things she loved to do and the people she loved to hang out with, it was just now in her bedroom on her phone. And she started getting really depressed and started spiraling. I didn't know what to do. And she said, I didn't know how bad it was until one day she was reaching for a box of cereal, and her shirt lifted up, and I saw all these cuts on her thigh and on her hip. I don't know if you guys know this, but they estimate 1/4 of 14-year-old girls self-harm now, saying pressure to be perfect from social media as the culprit. And she said, I know. She kept talking to me. She's like, Mom, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? I'm like, what? There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. But she sat on her phone all day like most of us do. And we look at Instagram and social media and Snapchat and, geez, whatever. I spoke at BYU, and a kid came up to me afterwards. He said, you know what app gives me the most FOMO? Venmo. I was like, Venmo? What? He's like, yeah, because like you're sitting there Friday night doing nothing. You on Venmo. And it's like Carter just paid Jaden $10 for pizza. I'm like, dude, where am I? You're my bros. Like, where's my pizza? Even Venmo's doing it. But my friend Whitney got really depressed because she thought something was wrong with her, because Satan just loved to use social media to lie that you'll never be enough. You're never going to be like this. And it opened up a terrible world of really mean people, bullies. Now, when I was a kid, I got bullied. You know how I got rid of the bullies? Like your parents? We just rode our bike home and had 2 bowls of Lucky Charms, and the bullies were gone. It was magically awesome. But every day, now kids can say anything they want on a screen, and they say some mean things. And one day, something like this came through. You know what? You're so fat and ugly, you have no friends. Just do the world a favor and kill yourself. And she fought this type of messaging. And then finally at 22, after being lied to her whole youth that you're not going to be enough. Look at all these people on your phone that are happier and prettier than you. Look at all these people having a good time. You're never going to be them. She said, I don't want to be here. And I went and told that story on social media, and it opened up this huge firestorm. It was on the front page of Salt Lake Tribune. I was getting threatened to get sued by Instagram influencers like, we're losing followers because of you. I'm here to tell you that Instagram is not real. We have created a disaster. We've created social media and turned it into this highlight reel. And it's hard enough for a lot of us as adults. I had a 60-year-old grandma message me. She's like, you think this is only affecting young people? I'm 65. I can't even get on there without feeling too old. I'm like, dang. Why are we comparing our lives to everyone's highlight reel? Because that's all it is on there. And Teddy Roosevelt said this, and Jeffrey R. Holland quoted Teddy, and I'm quoting Jeff, quoting him. Keep up. Comparison is the thief of joy. And all this phone is this 24/7 comparison machine. Mark Twain had to one-up him, of course, and said, no, it's the death of joy. And every year, I send Bill Murray's agent a Book of Mormon. And I'm praying, hopefully he'll send it to Bill, and Bill will read it and get baptized, because I want Bill Murray to speak in General Conference one day. Can you imagine? I'm Brother Bill Murray. Bill Murray said this, social media is training us to compare our lives instead of appreciating what we are, who we are. No wonder everyone's depressed. And this beautiful girl, Maddie, after getting a smartphone at 17, getting on Instagram, getting on social media, beautiful, happy athlete, goes to Penn State on a full track scholarship. To the social media standpoint, perfect. But through social media, she was lied to constantly. That you are never going to be enough. In her freshman year at Penn State, on a full track scholarship, climbs to the 9th floor of her dorm and jumps. And at her funeral, to all of the college kids there, her mom said this. She said, you have to know that it is okay to show this world when you're not okay. And we grow up now in a society, especially with a lot of athletes and college kids, where now you're transitioning to adulting. It's really hard. You're at a new school. My freaking freshman bio class at BYU was bigger than this whole. You guys are very lucky to go here. But we've created a society and a culture now where you can't tell anyone if you're not feeling good, right? We had 2 boys last week at one school on the same day commit suicide. One of the moms I talked to, she said, I had no idea. I had no idea he was struggling. So to end with the minutes I have left, I want to teach you how to be miserable. How to be miserable in college. Ready? Take notes. Just stay on Instagram all day long. Literally, just stay on social media all day. And let this app ruin your soul. Let it eat at you, right? Compare yourself to everyone else on there and let it really rip your heart up. Because this is normal life. I don't know if you guys know this, but every day I wake up to pillows and balloons and pizza and crepes and a blanket that has my own face on it, which I noticed recently. This is just normal life. If your life doesn't look like this, like what's wrong with you, right? You wake up in a dorm like with no pillows like this, and Listerine sponsored ad on the right there. Because social media will train you to constantly compare and despair. This dopamine trickle, this feedback loop from hell of constantly feeling bad, and then one good one, and bad. And just kind of keep you in that rut, right? And FOMO is my favorite thing ever, right? Oh, I love FOMO. Just see everything you're missing out on constantly. Never leave your dorm. Never go out and talk to people so you miss out and feel isolated and alone. FOMO is Latin for fear of missing out. And I just branded, I had the shirt yesterday, a new brand, we just trademarked it called Jomo. Anyone heard of Jomo? Jomo. Oh, ooh. Get on the Jomo train. The joy of missing out. Now, I know, as young people, you don't get this, but when you are married and someone cancels plans on you last minute. Oh, my. Oh, thank you, Jesus. Your wife one day is going to be like, oh, my gosh, we got to go to that wedding, my best friend on Saturday. You're like, oh, my gosh, this sucks. And then the day of, she's like, he left her at the altar. You're like, yes. Oh, I'm sorry about that. We don't have to go, though, right? Okay. Now, scientists who are nerds, right, say that sleep deprivation is the number 1 cause of depression, right? Whatever. Just stay on your phone all day, don't sleep, and be depressed. Because as Gandhi said, sleep deprivation is super fun. And that's true, actually. Sleep deprivation, number 1 cause. So if you're not sleeping well, put your phone somewhere else. Leave it in your car. Let it charge there. Or put it somewhere else so you can get some sleep. Now, for the ladies. Now, the guy's like, why is you talking about this? You're going to marry women that are going to get on Instagram after they have a baby. And they're going to follow all these mommy bloggers who are going to say, oh, my gosh, like I just had a baby 2 seconds ago and I've got my abs back. And you're like, what? So girls, after you have a baby, just stay on Instagram, scroll the mommy bloggers who's like have like their lashes done and that braid that took 9 hours. Like, I just did this in a second. No, you didn't. I have a friend who works at an OB at a delivery unit at a hospital. She's like, people come in like stage 4 hours just like take their pre-baby photo. I'm like, you're having a baby too, right? What? Where is she? And for the ladies, as you stay on social media especially, just hate your body constantly as you compare your life to something that was made in a lab, not in real life. Stay with me. This is in Alma, the book of Alma, chapter 148, something like that. Stay with me. It goes very quick. Now it came to pass that after the end of Korihor, Alma, having received tidings that the Zoramites were perverting the ways of the Lord, and that Zoram, who was their leader, was leading the hearts of the people to bow down to dumb idols. Zoram leading the hearts of people to bow down to dumb idols, that his heart began to sicken because of the iniquity of his people. Another really great way to stay miserable in college, especially in a small town where you should know everyone here, is to never look up from your phone, right? Who needs self-confidence anyways, right? And for the boys especially, ghost every girl after you go on a date. Please, just don't ever talk to them. Just ghost them. They love that. Don't you ladies love when they do that? Or when ladies do that to you? Are we a thing? And just so you know, here are the 3 ways to avoid being ghosted. Stay celibate, give up on the male gender, or become a nun. So, just those 3. Tried, tested, proven. Someone disappearing on you doesn't reflect your worth. It reflects the fear of being seen, so don't feel bad. And I don't want to go into too much detail, but I just have to. Let's talk about one thing that no one ever wants to talk about. And that is the art of asking people for photos that you should not ask them for, right? I love when I get messages from people like, I go to BYU, I'm not a member of the church. And I love when boys are like, hey, and I'm like, hey, can you meet me at Starbucks for some coffee? And they're like, no, I just got off my mission. I don't drink. Anyways, could you send me a nude, by the way? What? Okay. It reminds me of this quote. Please pay attention. Real men don't hit you up late at night demanding photos of your body. Real men hit their desks with closed fists demanding photos of Spider-Man. All right? And lastly, with my 6 minutes and 40 seconds left. From my research, one thing you are not getting enough is this. I need you to leave this auditorium, whatever, this barn, wherever we are. This place where most people get murdered in the movies. I've always said, like, I love speaking in places where it'd be really awful if there was a fire. Just kidding. I need you to leave here and put your phones away and connect and talk to each other. And I need you to get more of this. You are not getting enough of this. There's a chemical your brain releases when you get a hug. It's called oxytocin. And it feels really good. When you're feeling down in the dumps, which I know a lot of us feel as you're going through these years of college, trying to figure out who you are and where's mom to do everything for you because she did your whole life, right? Do you know as a young person how many hugs a day you need every day that last how long just to maintain levels of oxytocin in your life? Any guess? 26, 4, 8, 9, 5. You need 8 hugs every day that last 8 seconds long. So, as my parting gift, I'm going to show you how long and awkward 8 seconds is. Everyone stand up. Lights on. Here we go. Let's do this. Now, wait till I start. Wait, don't start. Everyone stand up. Stand up. I don't care if you don't know anyone around you. We will teach consent later. You get your bros, you get the people next to you, and I'm going to count. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sit down. They're still hugging over there. Look at this. 27, 28, 29. All right, shut up. Just kidding. Okay, true story, true question. Was that the longest 8 seconds of your life? You're like, oh my gosh, is that 8? Whoa. 2 weeks ago, I'm in Heber. Anyone from Heber, Arizona? Anyone from Heber? Anyone? I'm in Heber and Snowflake and Show Low, Arizona, speaking to all the schools out there. And the senior class president at Mongion something high school in Heber messaged me 2 days later, and she goes, Collin, I don't know what happened, but after you left, everything changed. In school, people are just talking to each other. They're just looking at each other. They're talking. And people are randomly just walking up to people and hugging them and counting to 8. 1, 2. One kid at Sunrise Middle School in St. George, where I was there 2 weeks ago, messaged me and said, we all hugged our bus driver, who's like super mean. We all hugged her and counted to 8, and she almost smiled. Almost. And Riley said this too. She goes, and it's the best thing ever for the girls. Thank you. Because now, that guy we've always had a crush on, now we can just walk up to him and be like, hey, Carter, do you remember that guy? Do you remember what he said? Bring it in. I need this. Count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You smell good. What are we on? Start over. 1, 2, 3. I need 7 more. So in closing, here's how to be happy in 3 steps. A year ago, my wife's closet was overrun with clothes, stuff she'd held on to since she was in 7th grade. I'm like, babe, gerbos? Like, come on, really? But I might want them again. No. So I had this idea. I said, you know what? I'm going to spend whatever time it is. I'm going to take every item of clothing, everything you own. I'm going to show it to you. Sit on the couch. I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to ask one question. Does this make you happy? If the answer is no, we throw it in a pile. We take it to Plato's closet and try and make some money off it. Gerbos? Really? And for 4 hours, we sat there, every item, hat, shirt, socks. Does this make you happy? Not really. And we narrowed it down to about 20% of what she wanted to wear. I want you, when you leave here sometime, to do the same thing with the accounts you follow and the people you follow on social media. I want you to go through every single one and ask yourself, does this account, does this person, do they make me happy? If the answer is no, I want you to do that. I want you to cut them out of your life. I have had thousands and thousands of people do this, and they message me. They say, oh my gosh, I did that. And the number one response that they tell me is, I feel free. I feel free. Thank you for coming.